It's September 15th. Rockstar has just released version 1.29 of GTA 5, GTA Online. What does this mean? This means a lot of things, actually. Apart from being able to run around like Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf, uh, people on Xbox One and the PS4 can now start making their own videos in the Rockstar editor. So, I don't know how close this is to the PC version, but hopefully it's pretty close. Maybe you guys with the PS4 and Xbox Ones, you can let me know in the comments if it's at all close. I'm going to try to do a whole video just using the controller here on the PC to see if it's anything like doing it on the console. But they also added some new features to the editor that are pretty interesting, so we're going to check some of those out. And before we get started, what you should do is go to settings while you're still in the main game, like I have here, and decide, how much of your storage space you want to use, if you want to have the autosave action replay on death on or not. And I'll tell you right now, if you do this, you are going to save some interesting clips that you wouldn't be able to save, because a lot of times when you die, you're not able to save the clip from before you died. It starts the action replay feature. It starts saving the clip from the moment you respawn. So what happened at death, that's lost. So if you turn this on, you'll save that. However, it's going to save it automatically whether you want to or not. So you're going to end up with a lot of superfluous videos in your storage space that you're going to have to go through and delete away. I don't mind doing that, so I leave it on. And occasionally catch some interesting clips. So this wasn't added with version 1.29. I think it was added with 1.28, believe it or not. So it's still a fairly recent feature. So even people on the PC might not know about this. I kind of like it because there were times before where I wanted to save that clip, but I had died, so I couldn't. So yeah, it's good. Now to turn on the action replay, you press down on the directional pad like you would switch characters. However, you press I guess what would be on the Xbox, the X button, the blue button, essentially, is the one that you press on the right side of the pad. And that turns on the action replay. And then you press down on the D-pad again, and then you can either save action replay by pressing the green button on the bottom there, or by pressing the red button you can turn off the action replay. So I already have a bunch of clips saved in the editor, so I'm just going to go right to it and turn that on. Now this is also new. There used to not be a little loading screen there. You used to just jump right into this. So we're going to create a new project. Sure, I'm sure. Wow, I'm already up to project 12. So, I don't know what we're going to do here. I have a bunch of clips I have saved in here. Let's just do something interesting with some bike stunts, sure. Those of you who have watched my other GTA videos know that I tend to hang out with the Scent crew. And they tend to be very entertaining when it comes to bike jumping and all sorts of other things. You know what, actually, before we go into actually making a video here, let's slow down a bit. I'm going to go back, save, yeah. It's just going to be project 12 for now. let's go back to the Rockstar Editor menu. You got Create a New Project. You just got a glimpse of that. You got Load Project for the ones that you've been working on. There's Director Mode, which sometimes you can't access if the character's in between, you know, animations, or if he's in his car. Sometimes it's a weird sort of. Sometimes it turns off. Just be, out in the middle of wherever, not doing anything particularly important outside of your car, and you'll be able to access director mode. However, we're just going to talk about action replay today because I think that's an interesting enough feature, and it allows you enough leeway to do, play with things when you're creating a project. So we'll talk about director mode more another time. Clip management. You can just sort through your clips, view them. This will be handy if you do turn on the action replay on death mode. This will be very handy to just sort through your clips, and really you can't do anything with them here, to tell you the truth. You can just play them or fast forward through them. You can't change the camera angle or anything in this mode. It's just what you saw when you were playing the game. Just what you saw and heard, basically. And I don't believe there is a way to save the voices in action replay the way you would record voices in director mode. Once again, we'll get more into director mode later. However, with the action replay mode, if your friends are talking through the microphone and you're recording gameplay while they're talking, it doesn't save their voice. So don't expect to find those when you're sorting back through the clip. So if you want to make like a movie with lines and things, use director mode, and if your friend said something particularly funny, I guess use an actual video capture thing rather than, the Rockstar editor thing. Unless, of course, there is a way to record your friends' voices or just the ambient, players' voices in this mode. If anyone knows of a way, please tell me in the comments. So that's clip management. Like I said, you can sort through them in all different ways. If you have clips that you've used in other projects and you want to delete those because you don't think you're going to use them again, go through them, delete them, whatever. You can mark favorites throughout it, and then delete all of the clips that you marked for deletion, that kind of stuff. Video gallery. This is a collection of videos that you've already finished. You can see I already have a few uploaded. Most of them are just, well, that one was just a test when I was starting it out. And a lot of them are just weird montages that I've put together. And, you could sort them different ways. Tutorials. Rockstar has different tutorials. I guess it comes up differently on different platforms. You can quit game directly from here too, in case you want to do that. Exit to story mode, of course. So let's go back to create a new project, or in this case we'll be loading project 12, which we started on at the beginning of the video. Do you want to load? Oh yeah, I want to load project. Okay, so project menu, go to that with the red button, timeline, press it again to get to the timeline, press the red button. So here's another new feature, add ambient track. You can add different weather noises, environment noises, like, here, industrial area, residential area. Yeah, see, there's more birds, I guess, in that area. Industrial area has more car noises and I guess construction equipment probably. I don't know. There's alarms. So in case you want to make a really annoying video, you can do these sirens for really annoying videos. And then fire noises, which that's always fun. And different ones depending on the kind of fire you got. They have them numbered here, but it sounds kind of like forest fire. That one sounds kind of like a campfire, like a big bonfire campfire. That one sounds like a building on fire. That one just sounds like, someone's fireplace, to tell you the truth. So, that's a new feature that you may want to use. You can add a radio track, you can add a score track, you can add text. So, radio track. Yeah, let's go with a radio track rather than a score track. You have to choose between one or the other, of course. From what I understand, with this new update, they've added some new tracks from Worldwide FM. I'm not sure which ones were here to begin with, but that's a fun station. The World Station in GTA. I like all of the radio stations, to tell you the truth. Even the pop station. The pop station has the Gorillas on it. I love the Gorillas. And I'm starting to like that Lady Gaga song that they have on it. This one's cool. So, yeah, when you stop on it, it plays a little clip so you can be like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that song from there. So I don't know which one I'm going to pick here. And once again, I don't know which ones are new. Yeah, I like that song. That's pretty groovy, isn't it? So you just place that in the timeline wherever you want. Switch back and forth to the end. So, now, to look at your clip and view it, you have to go to Edit. Once again, I'm doing this all with the controller, so those of you who have a console, doing this on the console for the first time, you'll be able to follow, I hope. I hope it's not that different on the console. Once again, you can tell me if it is. So, once you open up the clip in the editor, you can see that the menu comes up there. This menu will come up on any marker. So, the beginning of the video, the end of the video, those are markers, and you can place a marker anywhere in the video as well. So let's say I go over to this point, okay, where my character does this little jump here. I want to put a marker there. The menu will pop up again right there, and I can change the camera angle at that point from game camera, free camera, preset front, preset rear, preset right, and that's just sort of, it'll just keep the camera frozen at that position. And then you can use your bumper buttons, the shoulder buttons or the L1, R1 buttons to jump back and forth between these markers. So once again, let's go back to this marker, play around with these camera types. There's overhead if you like the old style GTA, like GTA 1 and 2 and London. You can do something in that style, do an homage to that if you want. It sounds like fun. I might do that when we're done here. Game camera. Let's go to free camera, because that gives you a lot of options. Free camera is what you want to do if you want to play with the different camera angles, pretend that there's a cameraman there recording everything. So you go to free camera, Go down to look at target. You can select none, you can select the player, or if there are NPCs or other players in a very close radius. Unfortunately, they don't give you much leeway with that. Um, but yeah, usually it'll just be player, unless there's someone very close by to you. Um, or you can go with none and just have like a camera stuck there. Move with target. You can have the camera move with the player. Um, that doesn't always work, I've found, though. Sometimes it stays depending on your blend mode, which we'll get to in a little blend in a little bit. Mount type, flexible, rigid, default. That's I'm still not sure what to do about that. We'll get to that in another video. Blend mode. This is just a video on the very basics of getting started with the Rockstar editor. Blend mode. This is for when you're going from one camera angle or one camera style to another. Yeah, you're gonna have to pull up that same thing every time you scrub the video there to a different point, and then you go back. You're gonna have to click back on camera there. So blend mode, if you want it to be like a cut to the next camera angle, don't worry about this. Just leave it at none. However, if you want the camera to move to the next camera angle in sort of like a fluid or a linear manner, that's when you use this. And you can turn blend easing on or off. Smooth, smooth doesn't always work so well. Linear, I tend to use more because it tends to work a lot better. Smooth, a lot of times someone will go at, what you're trying to focus on in the picture will just go way off camera, and that tends to get annoying after a while. So I usually go with linear if I'm doing a blend here. Shake, that's just sort of like an effect if you want it to look like a handheld camera, or the person's drunk, or there's an earthquake, or you're having air turbulence, or something's blown up. I don't use that too often, to tell you the truth, because I don't know. I get motion sickness sometimes, I guess. Not really, just on boats. I hate boats. So, edit camera is fun because this is where you get to move the camera around. But just like selecting a target for the camera, you don't have very big radius that you can use, and you can see that red bubble that you've probably seen up if you played with the job creator tool. You've probably seen this bubble before. So, you don't have a lot of space to work with. Sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not, depending on where you are. So if you're trying to film things that are very specific, try and get up close to your subject, And if you're doing that online, I suggest using, in an open lobby, I suggest using the, what is it, the mode where you don't get shot, where you can't get shot or run over by other players, because, there's a lot of trolls out there. They love to screw with you, don't they? So, let's just set this here. I'll set the camera there, and we'll go back. Now that I've set the camera there and thought about what I want to do, I just want the camera to follow the target while jumping there. Not have it move, but we're going to look at the target. So, as you can see, she went outside the red bubble right there. So, a lot of times you have to figure out something else to do. Now you can hold down the bumper button or the L1 or the shoulder buttons, whatever you call them. And you can do a fine scrub with the directional pad to move that marker that you just placed just a little bit along and get it to the exact spot. So at that point we would have to move the camera again. You can edit it. Why don't we have the camera move up and follow the character there. So now that we've changed it there, and we're going to decide that it's going to move with the target now, so we don't have to worry about that red bubble anymore, hopefully. And since we've done that, why don't we try and be a little bit more dynamic here with the... get really up close and offset to the side. You can do all sorts of weird things. Okay, yeah, we'll just do that. Now, this might not have worked out well. May have. Of course, there's a lot of empty space at the beginning here, and I don't know if my friend there is doing anything at this point, but once again, that's another handy thing about the camera mode, is that you can use it when you've saved these clips in the action replay. You can use the camera to look at things that have gone on off screen. So if there was like a big explosion nearby and you're like, what the hell was that? You can save the clip and look at it later and see exactly what happened. I thought I saw my friend here. Creamy spinach. There's creamy spinach. So anyway, neither I nor creamy spinach seem to be doing anything interesting there, so I'm just going to go right to this part of the video. Now what I did was, I went back to that starting marker, I held down that L1 button, and I moved the directional, not the directional, I moved the right knob up to the point where I want the video to start there. So we're gonna go right there. Yeah, that's nice. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, yeah. No. So, as you can see, I zoomed in a little bit too much there. Can't really see what the heck's going on. But I like how the camera moved with the character, so we're going to try and keep a little bit of that. Yeah, so it doesn't always... The blend doesn't always work perfectly there, as you can see. Sometimes gets a little crazy. So I think the most exciting part of this video probably comes at the end, yeah. So actually, I might just scrap this whole beginning part. So that wasn't that interesting. But, yeah, let's just scrap that. It's just demonstration purposes, really. let's go right to the fun part of the video right here. That. Alright. Oh, that wasn't it. I don't know what's going on there. See, now that's the other interesting thing. You'll find that sometimes what happened in the video that you saved isn't what happens when you pull it up there. That video, for example, there was quite a leap that the character took. Either that or I'm mistaking it for another video here. Maybe it's this one. So you can fast forward through these and check out the... I guess the lesson here is always fast forward through it to make sure that you got the clip that you want out of the clip that you pulled up. Because you're not going to want to use, especially when you're using the action replay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I think this is the spot. Yeah, so that wasn't even the clip that I wanted to use there. Oh, sorry. So, once again, I'm going to hold down the shoulder button, move this over. But as I was saying, sometimes what you save, what you see during the action, using the action replay feature, when you pull it up in the Rockstar editor, sometimes there are things missing. There was one video that I'll pull up for you after we're done with this one, where a friend of mine jumped past me. He was on fire, and that wasn't working for quite a while. Maybe this update changed it. A lot of times these updates, they will improve things. That's the great thing about this game, is that they keep improving it. There's a lot of great things about this game. It's slowly become my favorite game of all time. And one of the reasons is because you can be very creative with it. This is kind of a new thing in gaming. Is, well, not really that new. It's been around for a while. You've been able to create things in games, but it's become a lot more commonplace now for you to be able to create content, create all sorts of different kinds of content, like videos and like these, or just within this game, even when it just came out, before there was the video editor or anything, you could take pictures, and people took stunning, it would still do take really stunning pictures throughout, inside the game, using the Snap-O-Matic feature. And you can go through this on the Rockstar Social Club website. You can go through people's Snap-Matics if they have them public. And like I said, some of them are quite stunning. So we're going to move with and edit camera and get more of a dynamic shot here. You can play with the knobs and move the camera angle around when you have it stuck on the character like this, and you can usually get something pretty interesting going. The problem is that sometimes when the character moves quickly, it doesn't follow them completely. Alright. So that's cool to start off with, but let's turn on the blend mode. Then we'll go to here. We'll go overhead. So that seems like it would be fun. Fun place to end there. So let's see how that plays out just using that linear blend mode there. Then we'll try it out with the smooth blend mode. You can see the difference. There might not be that much difference here because there's not a lot of stuff in the way. I noticed that that's... Oh, wait. I want it to be at the beginning. I noticed that the big difference there is when a lot of stuff is in the way. But yeah, okay. So there you see a difference. Like I said, if the character moves quickly, they can go flying out of the screen, especially when you use that smooth blend mode. So if you got a lot of fast movement, go with the linear blend. Alright. So yeah, that's enough I've done to that clip. Let's find another interesting clip. Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah, you can put it at the beginning. That's what you can do there is decide where you want that clip to show up, and then just press the green button again to drop it onto the timeline wherever you want. So I dropped it before that last clip that we were just working on. So I'm going to... I don't really have anything in mind here. I'm just playing around with it for demonstration purposes for you guys here. But I do remember this clip. There was something interesting, like right there. It was pretty funny. Okay, it looks like... That's weird. It was playing like I slowed the speed down, which I was going to go into that with you guys now. This might not be the right clip to do that with. These things seem to be slowed down in it. So that's weird. Alright, so we'll not play with the speed feature right now then with this clip because it seems to have glitched the speed in the, or maybe we will, because you can speed it up rather than slowing it down as well. When you do that, however, you'll probably want to stop doing that when 150. Yeah, that seems a little bit more normal. Okay. Wait a second. So, depth of field, this is how you can change, the focus of, if you don't want to focus in on that character, you want to focus in on what's in the background or something like that, you can do that here. You can do those sort of weird establishing shots using the depth of field. Effects, there are different sorts of filters. If you've played with the Snap-O-Matic, you're familiar with some of these. You can see actual names for them now, like Emulsion, Inferno. This one's called Purple Haze, which is Sentinel. Not sure why. Kabukicho. Hope I did that right. Glacial, which is looks kind of like the death screen. Night Moves, Nueva Esperanza, and the Hey Girl, of of course. So you got a lot of different ones. Some of them, the names make sense, like Nostalgia. That's sort of the, sepia tone. Not really, but sort of light sepia. Sort of 70s-ish look to it. So I wouldn't go so far as to saying it's sepia, but it gives it a sort of vintage 70s look to it, doesn't it? Like it was filmed on 16 millimeter 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. Jeez. Um, so those are the different filter effects, and then of course you can change the intensity. So if you wanted to give it kind of a little bit of a 70s flavor, but not too much, you can, as you can see it, that that effect tends to degrade pretty rapidly in the higher percentages, and then lower percentages it doesn't really, you don't really notice much of it at all unless you're using one of the really out there filters. So yeah, why don't we put one of the real out there filters on there? Divinity, that might work for it. Black is, if you have the filter intensity at 100% with black, the screen will just be black. So that's, you can do, I guess, like fade outs and stuff with that. Although there's a fade out, you can just set it to fade out at the end if you want, at the end marker there. Yeah, let's go with Gonzo, because it's pretty Gonzo what's going on there. So audio, since we're using the, oh, they have changed this a lot. Wow. They've added a lot of different features here to the audio effects. It used to just be sort of very basic, like 3 selections. Now you have sound effects category. You can change the particular sound effects depending on what they are, which is great. You can add sound effects, adjust the volume to those, of course. So if you think you want something like off-screen, if someone goes flying off-screen, you want a crazy sound effect for that, like maybe they set off an explosion or went through a pane of glass like that last one. You can have that sound effect there. This is for the in-game sound effects. This is not for the dialogue, what you and your friends are speaking in GTA Online or anything like that. This is for the dialogue that's going on in-game, like with the NPCs and things like that. So of course, if you're saving video in single-player mode, it'll save those voices, but not if you're playing online with mics and stuff. It's not going to save that. The music volume, ambient volume, which I guess is background noise. Turn that down. Let's turn the game sound effects down because we have it sped up there, so it'll sound weird. There's not really any dialogue there, but we can turn that down. And then microphone type. This I'll have to play with because it's a very new feature. I'm not sure what that works. Once again, I'm just going over the basics here with you. But that looks very cool. So, oh, wait. So we got that. So those are the new audio selections. The speed here is how fast or slow. If you want it to be a slow-mo shot, you can set that there. Or maybe you want it to be a little bit slow motion, but not that much. Or let's say you want it to be normal speed up until here, and then you want it to slow-mo as you go through some crazy jump. You can do that. Although, yeah, for some weird reason, this video slowed down to begin with. So you can do that, and then speed it back up again. Yeah, I'm going to turn that to... So that's weirdly... So I'm playing around with the speed a lot here. Oh. So, you know, I'm going to edit that a little bit down at the end there. No. There's my friend Avid. Trying to get back onto the bike, trying to get it unwedged from there. Maybe at the end there we'll move the camera around to the front so you can see everyone. So we'll place another marker there. In camera, free camera, edit camera. Save it there. Of course, when you do this, you'll have to go to the last marker. If you do it like this, you'll have to go to that last marker and turn on the blend mode. So, oh, and you could not apply blend mode there because of object collision. So, I can turn that off now. So hopefully that'll just play normal. Oh. And of course, you'll find this sometimes when you've messed around with things. It won't quite go back to normal after you're done there. So we'll save it there. And I don't think it'll collide with anything when we're playing with it here. So, yeah, see, it was colliding with that, I guess, the telephone pole there. And the camera, when I made it pan over to the other side of the telephone pole, it wouldn't do it because the telephone pole was in the way. So, you can get around that with the smooth mode, but like I said, that doesn't always work very well. That probably would have had its own issue. And sometimes that gives you the same error message or whatever you would call that. So, yeah, let's turn on the blend mode again. Alright. So that's a fun little clip of us getting, or rather of me getting my bike stuck in between those things. So let's go find, I'm curious about something. There was a clip that I used in a project that was really fun, where a friend of mine rode by me and he was on fire and it looked really cool and I thought it was going to be awesome in the video. And then when I went to, where is it? When I went to play it after putting it in a video, my friend wasn't on fire anymore. It was just, he just sort of drove by me on his bike, which, that wasn't what I paid for. I paid for blood. So, if I can find this clip at some point, we'll use it. Here it is. So yeah, let's put it over here. So I move that one to the end of the... Alright. Now once again I'm going to hold down that L1 button as I scrub through the video. And you can scrub back, like if you went too far, don't worry, you can always scrub back. That part, of course, is pretty interesting. We could always use that. But the part that I want to use is right over there. Yeah. Okay, so I guess that didn't get fixed. That's too bad. Oh! Whoa. Okay. Maybe it did. Okay, let's try and use that again then. Cool. Okay, that really doesn't need any further work to it, does it? So, I'm just going to leave that like that. Let's just throw in some other random clips here. Here we go. Just, this is just a video of my friends Creamy Spinach and Outback Shack trying to jump their bikes over my Centurino, but unfortunately I moved it there. So, once again, we don't really see what happens there, so why don't we make it so we can see what happens? I didn't realize Creamy was driving at me, I guess, when I started driving. And, I didn't get to see what the heck happened to Creamy, so I'm going to move it to free camera. Once again, like I said, this is one of the great features about this. When something happens that you think is probably really funny, but you didn't get to see it, you can save a little video clip of it and watch it at your leisure later on. Okay, so that's not a good camera angle either. It looked to me like he respawned there. I'm not gonna go so far. I'm just gonna do this. Alright. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Alright. So, you know what? I'm not gonna have it too far from where it was at. Just a little bit like that. This should be fun. Yeah, you can see Creamy go flying there. That's an amusing clip. Yeah, we'll save that in there like that. Like I said, I'm not trying to make anything too insane here. Just trying to demonstrate for you how this works. And how you can just throw something together really quickly if you have a bunch of these clips saved up, which you will over time, especially if you leave that instant replay save on death, because it doesn't. It says save on death, but it doesn't just save on death. It saves on death when you go to ammunition. It saves in a bunch of different situations. Maybe they changed that with this new update. I'm not sure, but up until this point, at least, it's always saved at a lot of weird, sort of random points, and not just on death. I guess it's saved on any point where the video would have cut off originally. So we're gonna save that up to there. And once again, I'm using the L1 button, just holding that down as I find the proper start point. Right when Outback Shack gets into the picture there, I think I'm going to use and scrub it right to that point. That's a great jump. And that's a great fail. So I want to keep both of those. You know, that's not a bad camera angle either. Maybe we'll just keep that there, move it over a little bit, get something cool going here. Yeah. Okay, that should be good. Two great fails in one clip. That's gold. It's director's gold. So, let's throw in another. Once again, I didn't get to see what was happening here. I was just sort of recording and staying close to the action there while they went over jumps on me. Edit the camera once again. I'm just going to move it around. You can move it around with the knobs and everything right there. So I'm just going to move it back to this spot that we were playing with before and just see what happens. There goes creamy spinach. There goes Outback Shack. Oh. Okay, neither of those jumps were anything special. I'm not sure why I saved that clip. I'm going to delete that one. No offense, guys. So, is this... I don't know if this is part of that, or... Yeah, let's see if that's part of that. Now, once again, you can't play around with the camera settings and things like that when you're just browsing through your clips. And, oh, yeah, I guess that was pretty interesting. Yeah, let's throw that in this video for shits and giggles. I don't know what the heck is happening there. Let's go to free camera, target player, yeah, let's do that, but let's edit the camera so it's a little bit like that, and yeah, let's move it out actually. Let's move the camera out so we can see exactly what the hell happened there, because that's another moment I was playing this game where I'm like, what the hell? So it was just that pedestrian car that I hit and went flying really far. Okay. So yeah, we'll keep that in there. Scrub it to that point. And I think we can do a better camera angle than that. You'll find that sometimes if you go too close to the road, you won't be able to move the camera in and out like this. So just be mindful of that when you're playing with this. So let's see. Yeah, that came out pretty well. Let's put a point over there. Go back to camera in the first marker and put it in the blend mode. And then we won't do anything that'll make anyone motion sickness, but let's this one, let's play with that there and edit the camera so it follows that crash a little bit. So as you can see, the car's already crashed, and I'm just sort of zooming in on it a little bit there. And since it's at that point in the timeline, just after the crash, and we have that blend set in, should follow the car as it skids along, you see? So that's fun to do when you're playing with that blend mode. Yes, I want to save the changes. Okay, let's add another clip here. Maybe we have enough here. So, Project 12, I think we can come up with something better than that. I don't know. Video. Video. Nah, we can come up with something better than that. Just say drums. Because I think that's the only part that we get to in that song. We don't actually get to hear any of the groovy part of that song. Although I do like the drumming part. That's I think we'll just be hearing that. Now, when you do the preview like this, as you can see, it will go. Oh, didn't we fix that? You can stop the preview as well if you see something like that that's gone weird. Like that looks like the blend went back to smooth rather than sticking with linear. So that's something that we might have to change. Oh, see, he's not on fire that time. That's what happened with another video that I made where I put that clip in there. It looked good, and then when I published it, it didn't come out. But I think even in the preview it looked fine. But it was just when it got processed and whatever, I guess the fire was extinguished. So there it is. Yeah, we can remember to save this a lot, especially if you have a computer that can't quite handle the pressure from something like this. Because let's go back to the timeline and see if we can fix that one clip before we go to publishing. Yeah, something went wrong there. No, it's linear. Maybe if we turn off the blend easing. No, that seemed to have made it just as bad. Right. So, there's an easy way to fix this. Just zoom the camera out a little bit, and character should stay in, or not. So yeah, sometimes you'll find that you have these sort of little annoyances. Let's add another camera. Sometimes that makes things better, sometimes it makes things worse. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens this time. So... Okay. So that worked out okay that time. Alright. So once again, when you do this, you should do a full screen preview, but let's just save and export. Choose your frame rate there, bitrate, high, low, medium, high, and export. Enter export name, that's fine. It gives you all those sort of explanations. So after this, after it's done exporting, the video, as you can see, it'll show you the progress and everything and the percentage, and you get to see everything as it's going by in percentage time, not real time, I guess. Um, as it goes through this, you're going to uh, you're going to find that your video has gone from your saved projects to the completed projects that we saw on when you first entered the Rockstar editor. Um, that first menu in the Rockstar editor. From there, it's a whole nother process to get it uploaded to YouTube. But you can do that. It's pretty seamless. Just to get it up there, as long as you already have a YouTube account that you want to have these videos on. You can go to my YouTube account that you're watching this on and see some of the other videos that I made with the editor tool. Just using this, you can see that fire effect is still not there. Yeah, that's too bad. That was pretty funny when it happened. So, hopefully that they'll be able to fix that one day. I was hoping that this update would fix it, but I'll have this video. I'll leave this one, even though, it's not really, I didn't really put much work into it. I'll leave this one up on YouTube as well, just so you guys can see it as a reference of the finished product when it's all done. So when you go to YouTube, it's a whole nother. It's like uploading a video to YouTube. There'll be a percentage. It'll show you the percentage of time. That'll be, it'll count up to 100 as the video uploads to YouTube, and then of course you're going to have to wait some undefined amount of time before the processing of the video is done. So just be patient. Your video will be up eventually. So as you can see, this one is done exporting. So we'll exit this part of the Rockstar editor and go to video gallery, as you can see before. And this one you can see has been added to the video gallery, but it's got a red dot on it because it's not uploaded like these other videos are. So we're just going to upload this one. There we go, I went to play. You press the blue button on your gamepad to upload to YouTube. Once again, I've been doing this all on the gamepad, so those of you on the console, I hope this experience is very similar. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. And of course, it's going to show you all this stuff, the terms of service, and you put in description. Video made for 101. There we go. So just a quick description, you can change that later. Of course, the problem with the Rockstar editor, I hope this is different on the consoles, you can't use commas. So that last thing, really, I couldn't go into too much description there because you can't use commas, I think you can't use question marks, or there's a lot of weird punctuation that they don't allow you to use for some weird reason. And same thing with the tags. You can only put one tag because they don't let you use commas. So you're stuck with one tag for now, at least on the PC. Once again, I hope that's different on the console for those of you playing on the Xbox One or the PS4. So there you go, and it'll upload, and then, when you turn off the game, it'll stop uploading. if you're doing something else. And then it'll start back up again when you go back into this. So there it is. This will be done uploading eventually, and you'll be able to see that on YouTube as well. And that's the basics of using the action replay in GTA. I hope you found it informative. If there's any questions that you have, put them in, or any um, clarifications that you have, of course, please share them with me in the comments. And yeah, enjoy. Especially those of you on the console who are just getting this great feature. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about this game is that it's given gamers a way to be very creative, not just with these videos, but with the snapmatics, like I was talking about before, which apparently you can use in director mode now. You can take, if you go into director mode, you can take snapmatics in there, which you weren't able to do before. And also with the job creator, which is another great tool in this game that have let players make some really incredibly creative races and death matches and captures. Sometimes these captures aren't even, your basic capture the flag. A lot of them are player versus enemy type matches, or races. Because some of the capture modes you can set it to be a vehicle that you're capturing rather than a briefcase or whatever uh, the MacGuffins that they allow you to use when capturing. Hopefully they'll open more of that up in the future. I think they've opened more of it up with this update 1.29. But I'll make a separate video on that, on the changes that they've made to the job creator tool, which is, like I said, another great tool that's extended the life of this game immeasurably. And I hope you all have fun with the editor, the video editor. And yeah, look ahead for the I'll have a update 1.29 on the job creator tool coming up soon. Okay? All right. So get to creating. If you've made any weird videos on this through this, please put the link in the comments. I'd love to see them. I love to see weird sort of montages or movies that people make with this tool. And there's a lot of really creative stuff people have made, just like of their own creation. There's also a lot of great spoofs that people have made, of different, like, opening theme songs to sitcoms like Full House and Friends, and just like a lot of just weird stuff, music videos. Just check it out. It's a lot of great stuff. So enjoy, and we'll see you next time.